It wasn't televised. No one even remembers who won. But on that rainy night, at a half-empty training ground in Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo played a match that changed his entire future. This is the game that Manchester United never forgot, even though the world never saw it. The game that never made headlines. It wasn't a final. It wasn't even televised. Just another rainy evening in a second division training ground. But for Cristiano, this match was everything. It came at a time when the buzz around his name was beginning to fade. The hype was dying down. Doubts were creeping in. His agent had gone silent, and even the coaches at Sporting had started focusing on newer prospects. Ronaldo had heard the whispers, maybe he peaked too early. The opponent was a touring youth team from Italy. Nothing major. Just a chance to stay fit. But Cristiano treated it like a Champions League final. From the moment he stepped onto the pitch, his eyes locked onto the goal like it owed him something. In the third minute, he took a shot from 30 yards. It hit the post. No one else would have dared. He didn't speak to teammates. Didn't celebrate goals. He just played. Possessed. By halftime, he'd scored 2 and assisted another. The rain got heavier. The field turned into mud. Players slipped. Some gave up. Ronaldo? He kept running like the ground was dry. At one point, he slipped and fell hard. Everyone paused. But he didn't wait. He got up, covered in mud, wiped his face with the back of his hand, and sprinted again. There were maybe 40 people in the stands. One of them was a scout from Manchester United. After the match, he didn't go to the locker room. He sat on the bench, alone, staring at the pitch. One of the assistant coaches walked over. "You okay?" Cristiano nodded. They'll remember this one day. Even if no one saw it. And he was right. What Ronaldo didn't know was that the scout had scribbled down his name twice. Underlined it. Highlighted it. And as he sat there drenched, soaked to the bone, mud crusted on his boots, that tiny scribble was already starting its journey. The man flew back to England the next day. He didn't file a full report. Just one sentence: "We need to see this boy again." Meanwhile, Ronaldo went home to his shared apartment. No one mentioned the game. He ate dinner alone, boiled chicken, plain rice. He didn't scroll through messages. He didn't expect any. He didn't sleep much either. That night, he stood on his balcony, letting the cool air dry his damp hair. Below, Lisbon hummed in the dark. Neon signs flickered. Cars passed. Somewhere, someone was living the life he wanted. All he had was a notebook and a hope. He opened the notebook and wrote, "They'll regret not watching." Then, for the first time in weeks, he smiled. Not because of the goals. Not because of the scout. But because deep down, he knew the fire was still there. And that was all he needed. The forgotten phone call. That night, Ronaldo's phone buzzed. Once. Then stopped. He picked it up. Missed call. Unknown number. No message. He stared at the screen for a minute, then tossed the phone on his bed. He didn't care. He was still sweating from the game, still muddy. The water in the shower ran cold, but he didn't flinch. He let it wash over him like it was a baptism. In another part of Europe, a conversation was happening. "I don't care if he's only 17. That boy has something," the scout told his superior. Not polish. Not tactics. Fire. They didn't talk again for 3 days. Ronaldo thought maybe it had all been in his head. That the game didn't mean anything. That his career was just stuck. He even started questioning his moves. His dribbles. Was he too selfish? Was he playing too hard in a game no one cared about? Then the call came. His mom answered. Called him to the kitchen. It's for you. England. He walked over, still chewing on a piece of toast. Hello? Cristiano? This is Carlos Queiroz. Silence. I work with Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United. We saw your match. And we'd like to invite you for a visit. He didn't speak. Just nodded, even though no one could see him. His mom cried. He didn't. Later that night, he opened his old notebook. Don't wait for the world to call you. Make them need to. He didn't know it then, but that forgotten phone call would rewrite his life. 3 days later, his flight ticket arrived. A plain envelope. No letter inside. Just an itinerary. Lisbon to Manchester. Departing Friday. He packed his bag like a soldier. Methodical. Focused. No extra clothes. Just the essentials in that notebook. At the airport, he didn't look back. Not even once. Above the clouds, he scribbled another note. England doesn't know it yet. But soon they would. The test no one knew about. Manchester didn't feel like Lisbon. The rain was colder. The air sharper. Everything felt heavier. Ronaldo stepped off the plane carrying only a small suitcase and his notebook tucked tightly in his jacket. He didn't smile. Didn't take photos. He just looked up at the gray sky and breathed in the unknown. The club had arranged a modest hotel for him. A single bed. Faint smell of cleaning spray. A window facing the parking lot. No welcome committee. No press. It didn't matter. He wasn't here to feel comfortable. He was here to survive. The next morning, training started early. The wind cut through his tracksuit. But he didn't flinch. While others stretched and chatted, Ronaldo was already jogging laps around the pitch. No one told him to. He just did it. Out of habit. Out of hunger. The coaching staff watched. Quietly. Curious, but cautious. Who was this boy with the sharp jawline and serious eyes? Another hyped youngster? Another fade-out story in the making? The players treated him with polite distance. A nod. A handshake. Nothing more. He wasn't part of the pack. Not yet. Then the ball rolled, and everything changed. From the first drill, Ronaldo played like he was auditioning for the universe. Sharp passes. Sudden cuts. Explosive acceleration. He didn't just move, he attacked space like it owed him something. Every drill became a duel. Every touch a message. But not everything was smooth. His first pass was intercepted. His second was too heavy. Some players smirked. One even whispered, "Too much hype." Ronaldo heard it. He didn't react. But his next move? A double step over into a fake shot that froze the defender. He didn't need to talk. His boots did the explaining. Day one ended with Ronaldo staying behind, long after the team hit the showers. He ran suicides across the pitch. Alone. Again and again, until his legs wobbled. Until the kit clung to him like wet armor. A groundskeeper finally called out, "That's enough, lad." Ronaldo didn't answer. He bent over, gasping, then stood upright and nodded. Day two, he came back even earlier. This time, the drills were tougher. One-on-one challenges. Aerial duels. Possession games. The defenders didn't go easy on him. They pushed. Pulled. Tripped. One elbowed him in the ribs. Ronaldo didn't complain. He got up. Dusted off. Then dribbled through 3 players and curled a shot past the keeper. The ball hit the net with a satisfying thump. No one clapped. But no one mocked him anymore either. That evening, he skipped dinner. Too tired to chew. Instead, He sat by the window, staring at the parking lot lights. In his notebook, he scribbled one line. "No one's clapping yet. That's okay." Day 3. The players buzzed early on. Sir Alex Ferguson was coming to watch. Everyone felt it. When the legend walked in, silence swept the field. He stood on the sideline with his arms crossed, face unreadable. Ronaldo didn't look at him. Not once. He just played. He pressed harder, moved quicker, called for the ball louder. His crosses were pinpoint, his flicks sharp. At one point, he sprinted back 40 yards to win a tackle. The coaches exchanged glances. Something was different. After training, Sir Alex walked down. The players straightened up. He approached Ronaldo. Didn't shake his hand. Didn't smile. Just nodded. Ronaldo nodded back. No words were needed. That night, Carlos Queiroz knocked on his hotel room. He didn't sit. Just leaned against the wall. He liked what he saw. A lot. Ronaldo barely moved. What now? Now we wait. But, pack your things. Just in case. And with that, he left. Cristiano stood alone in the quiet room, holding his notebook. On a new page, he wrote, "Sometimes the loudest yes is a silent nod." Then he smiled, for the first time in days. The room without a contract. The next morning, Cristiano woke up before the alarm. His hotel room was still quiet, still cold. He didn't sleep well. He didn't care. He got dressed in silence, pulling on his track pants and jacket like armor. He wasn't nervous. He was ready. But he didn't know what was coming. At 9 a.m. sharp, a staff member knocked on his door. "You're needed at Carrington." Boardroom. Cristiano didn't ask why. He just nodded. The drive was quiet. Rain tapped against the window like a slow metronome. Outside, the gray skies of Manchester stretched endlessly. Inside, he was rehearsing nothing. There was nothing to say. Either he was staying, or he wasn't. When they arrived, he was led down a long hallway he hadn't seen before. Different from the locker rooms. Different from the training ground. This was where decisions happened. Where careers were made, or not. A plain wooden door opened. "Go in." He stepped into a room with no windows. One table. 2 chairs. No pen. No contract. Just silence. He sat. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. Finally, the door opened again, and in walked Sir Alex Ferguson. No assistant. No agent. No clipboard. Just him. He sat down across from Ronaldo. Looked him in the eye. Didn't smile. "You think you're ready?" he asked. Cristiano didn't flinch. "Yes. You're young. You're raw. You'll make mistakes. The Premier League is brutal. It doesn't wait. I'll catch up. You think you can survive the pressure?" "I don't want to survive," Ronaldo said. "I want to lead." Sir Alex leaned back in his chair, studying the boy in front of him. Most players would have broken under that kind of stare. Cristiano didn't even blink. Then Sir Alex stood up. "Good. You'll be staying." He walked to the door. Still no handshake. Still no smile. But that was all Ronaldo needed. 30 seconds later, a staff member entered with a thick folder in hand. "Your contract." Ronaldo didn't ask questions. Didn't call a lawyer. He just signed. One page after the other. His name in ink. No hesitation. When he handed the folder back, the staffer smiled. "Welcome to Manchester United." Cristiano nodded. Then he stood up and walked out. The hallway outside the boardroom was lined with photos, giants of the game. Schmeichel, Cantona, Beckham, Giggs. Moments frozen in time. He stopped at one frame, Cantona in mid-celebration, collar up, arms wide. He whispered to himself, "Someday, it'll be me." The drive back to the hotel felt different. The city looked the same, but it felt smaller. Like it couldn't contain what was coming. At the hotel, he didn't call friends. He called his mother. "Did it happen?" she asked. He didn't say yes. He just said, "I'm not coming back." She cried again. Not like before. This time, it was joy, pride, relief. Then she said something he never forgot. "Don't change who you are." Cristiano hung up, sat on the edge of the bed, took out his notebook. He wrote, "Even legends start in rooms with nothing." He stared at that sentence for a long time. Then, underneath it, he added, "And they don't wait to be invited." For the first time since arriving in Manchester, he allowed himself to smile. Just for a moment. Because he knew this was only the beginning. The night everything changed. It was supposed to be just another preseason match. A friendly. Nothing that would be remembered. Not by the press. Not by the fans. Not even by the players. But for Cristiano, it wasn't just a game. It was the game. The night before, he barely slept. His body was tired, but his mind wouldn't stop. He kept replaying the same thought over and over, "They need to see me." At 2 a.m., he sat up, opened his notebook, and wrote one sentence. "Make it impossible to forget me." When morning came, he was already dressed. He showed up at the stadium 3 hours early. The dressing room was still dark. The boots weren't even laid out yet. But he sat, waited, and watched the clock. When the team arrived, laughter filled the room. Music played. Jokes were cracked. But Ronaldo stayed in his own world. No distractions. Just purpose. He laced his boots 5 times. Tightened, loosened, and tightened again. Until it felt perfect. The manager didn't say much during the team talk. It was just a warm-up game. A chance for everyone to get minutes. For Ronaldo, it was a test. The final one. As he stepped into the tunnel, he heard it, the noise. Not deafening, but real. Thousands of fans filling the stadium. Watching. Expecting. He closed his eyes for a second. Then stepped onto the pitch. From the first whistle, he moved like lightning. His first touch was clean. His first sprint cut through the midfield like a blade. He didn't wait for instructions. He created his own. Every time he got the ball, something happened. A step over. A sudden turn. A pass that made the crowd gasp. By the 15th minute, the fans were whispering his name. By the 30th, they were chanting it. He didn't score. But that didn't matter. He hit the post once. Delivered 2 perfect crosses. Drew fouls like a magnet. Made defenders look slow. On the bench, Sir Alex watched in silence. At halftime, the players walked in, joking, breathing heavy, towel over shoulders. Ronaldo sat in the corner. Breathing through his nose. Focused. Sir Alex walked past him. Didn't stop. Didn't speak. But he nodded. And that nod meant more than any words. Second half. More of the same. Ronaldo didn't slow down. If anything, he moved faster. Every move felt like a challenge. Every play was a message. I belong here. When the final whistle blew, he walked off the pitch alone. Didn't wave. Didn't smile. Just walked. In the locker room, while others talked about dinner plans, he pulled out his notebook again. Under the sentence he wrote that morning, he added, "They won't forget me now." That night, on the team bus, he stared out the window. Manchester blurred past like a dream in motion. Sir Alex walked down the aisle. Stopped by Ronaldo's seat. Put a hand on his shoulder. "You were born for this," he said. Cristiano didn't reply. He just nodded. Back at the hotel, the lights were low. He stood by the window, watching the city lights flicker like stars that had fallen to earth. He thought of Madeira. He thought of his father. He thought of every muddy field, every lonely run, every night he trained when no one was watching. Then he smiled. Because they were watching now. The papers the next day didn't scream headlines. It was just a friendly, after all. But in the Manchester United offices, something had changed. They weren't talking about a promising young winger anymore. They were talking about the future. In Lisbon, his mother saw the match on a grainy stream. When it ended, she whispered, "He's gone." She didn't mean it in a sad way. She meant he'd crossed over. From hopeful to undeniable. Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't chasing the dream anymore. He was the dream. And it all started with a match that meant nothing to the world, but everything to him. Sometimes, the most important games are the ones nobody sees. Cristiano didn't wait for the world to notice him, he gave them no choice. If this story inspired you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got more untold chapters from Ronaldo's journey. And trust me, you won't want to miss them.